If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like, and share so we can find others like yourself.
Today for the Bitcoin price, don't worry guys, we'll keep it original here. We thought I'd try out something new today, this sort of video interaction with you guys. We want to keep things interesting, fun, and new. So we're trying out this video interaction, so if you like what we're doing here, and you like this new sort of style of video, comment down below, and also if you like it, leave a like on the video. So we'd really like to see that, and your interaction in the comments below. It really does help out. And some really interesting news for Bitcoin today, some breaking news for Bitcoin, and this will be translated into the rest of the crypto market as well, into the altcoins. Bitcoin has hit an 1,000-day high, and that is big stuff in the crypto market. So I'll be breaking down all of that in the charts and also in the news as well. So stay tuned and watch to the very end to find out everything that you need to know for the upcoming weeks and also months. The breaking news for Bitcoin is that it's broke its highest price since January 2018. This is big stuff in the crypto market. And for those of you who have been in the market since around 2017, going up into 2018, seeing that bull run itself, the last one, an amazing time it was. And I think we're in the brink of a new breakout on the new bull run itself, in this new bull cycle. So it's, very bullish content for you guys today. And it's interesting times, certainly. Breaking those barriers themselves and reaching new all-time highs. So I do think this next wave will be bringing Bitcoin to the next sort of $20,000 region, potentially even further than that as well. I think if we take into account everything fundamentally as well, the election that's happening next week, lots of other things that's happening that will affect the market. So as much as things do go up, they can go down as well at the same time. So you have to bear that in mind. Now I'm just going to jump in straight into the charts, and you may have been seeing this sort of chart in my previous videos when talking about Bitcoin itself, when talking about the price of Bitcoin and where it's going. So in my last video on Bitcoin itself, I drew this green line, and that was sort of the trend that we're seeing in Bitcoin, and that's broken that trend completely. It's in a new trend, which is great to see. And interestingly as well, if we go down and sort of go into more detail into Bitcoin itself, we're seeing that Bitcoin has broken this $13,800 region. Now, if Bitcoin was to break this region and close above the $13,800 region, then I do think we're going to be seeing a new cycle for Bitcoin, and we'll be seeing new all-time highs for Bitcoin itself, because this is a major key area for Bitcoin, major resistance to Bitcoin itself. So it's great to see that. And, if it were to break that, that'll be big stuff for Bitcoin, for the rest of the altcoins as well. Now, that being said, the other side to that, we'll be seeing the Bitcoin dominance rise just a little bit, because we've been seeing most of that hype go into Bitcoin. I think last time Bitcoin did have its bull run itself, it went from 80% down to like 30%. And when it fell from 80 to 30%, we saw most of that capital flow from Bitcoin into the rest of the altcoins as well. So, it's interesting times, not just for Bitcoin, but also for the altcoins as well. So all eyes are on this area here, this region. So if it were to close above the $13,800 region, and potentially even further than that, if it were to close above the $14,000 region, then we're in a completely new territory now. So this is big stuff for Bitcoin itself. So do let me know what you think down in the comments below about that. What do you think about Bitcoin itself, about that sort of price target, and everything about Bitcoin? I'd love to know what you guys have to say about that. Are you invested in it? Are you not? Where do you think it could go? Do you think the election might affect Bitcoin price? All comments are welcome, and I'll be responding to some of your comments below as well. I'll leave this article linked down in the description below about Bitcoin breaking its highest point since January 2018, and also the new 1,000-day high. So this is a new bull cycle inbound. Now, how will this be reflected in the rest of the market? Well, I think at the moment, we've seen that Bitcoin dominance rise a little bit more. And for cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, like Ripple, like XRP itself, Chainlink, we have to wait and see what Bitcoin does until we see that price action go into the rest of the altcoins. But overall, I do think this is good stuff. At the same time, you just have to be cautious. Things can go down as well as up. Now, the Bank of Canada says that global approach is needed on digital currency. So this is a big one for global cooperation. And I do think also a lot of companies out there, a lot of countries as well, are certainly warming up to the idea of a digital currency and digitizing the economy just that little bit more. And I do think certainly with the G7, so that's Canada, US, the UK, I think also France and Germany, Italy, I think Japan as well. These are major countries that are considering using a digital dollar or a digital version of their currency. So there's a lot of upside that comes with that. So, it's easier to make payments. I think it also lifts a lot of people out of poverty. The other side to that is that all your payments are going to be tracked, or most likely will be tracked. And some people may think that's a good thing. Other people may think that's a not so good thing. So, it's really whether you think about the positives versus the negatives. I think, just the way it's going to go, I do think we're going to be seeing some form of digital currency in the next 10 years or so. Certainly with the situation we found ourselves in this year with 2020 itself, a lot of people are now using Apple Pay themselves, or using their credit cards or their debit cards, and they're using less cash. And I do think we're slowly transforming into a cashless society. So whether you may think that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'd love to know what your thoughts are down in the comments below about that. So interesting times for Bitcoin, and that does reflect into the rest of the macro scale things. If we look into the stock market, into the retail investors, also real estate as well, digitizing everything and finding a way forward with that. And I think this is all part of the fourth industrial revolution, industrial revolution 4.0, all that sort of stuff. And there are bad things that come to that, but also a lot of good things. And I think the upside does outweigh the downside to that. So a lot of interesting times, and you've got to have that macro perspective about it, about all these things that are happening at the same time. And that does tie in with Bitcoin, with digital currencies, with altcoins, and seeing that Bitcoin is breaking that $13,800 region, going into the $14,000 region again, all new all-time highs. So I do think this is breaking news for Bitcoin, new bull cycle, I think, in my opinion. And it's just interesting times, so it is what it is. Now, before I go into the next part of this video, you can see there's a Plan B t-shirt in the background there, and that t-shirt is actually made by Swissborg, and this is actually today's sponsor, Swissborg. It's an amazing company. We've never really come across a company like Swissborg before. They certainly blow all competition out of the water when it comes to Swissborg, their wealth app, and many things that they have to offer. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you some really interesting features that Swissborg has to offer. Swissborg is an exchange aggregator, getting you A, the best prices, B, liquidity, and C, the ability to create trading pairs that do not exist in the market, like Bitcoin with Swedish krona, Swissborg with the pound, or the euro. So if an exchange is an airline, Swissborg is your Skyscanner. If an exchange is a hotel, Swissborg is your Agoda. Now, if you go premium, you get a real zero commission for some of the assets and 50% off other assets, and premium accounts will also get 2 times on their yield. And that's the other thing. Swissborg will soon announce their Smart Yield account. That's the best risk versus reward yielding product in crypto. Now here's a table showing you the comparisons of all the other yield accounts that you have at the moment. This is diversified through risk in DeFi, CeFi, yield farming, and automated market making. And interestingly, earlier last month, we had an interview by Alex Faisal, who's also the Chief of Communications at Swissborg. And he provided the opportunity for that. And so thank you very much to Alex and to the team at Swissborg there and at Kryptonites. What I'm going to show you some interesting comparisons between what Swissborg has to offer compared to major competitors. So I'm going to show you a comparison of the price disparity that you have compared with other apps and Swissborg themselves. So what you're going to see right now is a big price disparity between the quoted prices on, for example, Crypto.com and Coinbase compared to Swissborg. So you're always going to make sure that you get a good price and a good deal at Swissborg themselves. So you can see here on Crypto.com, there's a $20 difference between what you're seeing right now. And that is quite crazy. And also on top of that, I took a screenshot of comparing Coinbase with Swissborg, and see here there's already a $4 difference. And the reason why they have that difference there is because they like to make their money also with the fees that they have as well. And with Swissborg Premium, there's no fees at all, which is really cool to see there as well. And on top of that, there's also the Swissborg community app, and that's a really cool app to use to get involved with the community. And I think that's another thing at CryptoBusy that I think we separate ourselves with the competition, is the community that we build. And that's also reflected in Swissborg themselves. It is so much about the community, and that is shown in the Swissborg community app. And if you start from the ground up with the community, you really make something different and something quite profound in the crypto market. So I'm also at the same time going to be showing some comparisons of other things as well. I'll leave all the necessary links down in the description below. They also have their scratch card feature as well with referrals. So you can also win up to 100 euros in scratch cards, which is always a fun way of getting involved as well. So it's a nice way to get involved. It's also fun, it's interactive, and it's a great opportunity. So don't forget to download the Swissborg app, the wealth app itself. Look at their website, sign up today. It's really cool what they're doing, and I think they're really separating themselves from the competition. That's a really big thing that I want to make sure that I've mentioned. The app is so clean looking, it's very well designed, and I wouldn't be sitting here discussing it if I didn't believe that myself. Swissborg is something I'm quite passionate, close to my heart, because I think it's something, they're doing something so profound in a market that is quite unregulated. And the fact that they are regulated by the Swiss authorities, that's a really big tick in the box. So I'll leave all the necessary links and also the referral links down in the description below, so you can check it out for yourselves in further detail. And also coming soon is the Smart Yield account, and you can earn up to 20% per annum on the USDC, which is amazing stuff as well. And that is way higher than any bank account that you can get these days. So it's really cool. Also make sure that you get notified on that as well. That is the Swissborg Smart Yield account. That's another big thing that is coming very soon. It's a lot of big stuff that's happening for Swissborg. All necessary links down in the description below. It's an amazing company, and just get on board the Swissborg train today. So that's Swissborg itself. Do make sure that you check them out. Really cool stuff what they're doing. So Apple themselves, they have $191 billion in cash. And will they put some of that cash into Bitcoin? In my opinion, I do think they will. There's a lot of companies out there that are considering freeing up some of their cash reserves and putting that into Bitcoin itself, into altcoins, into the rest of the market. And I do think this is a positive move for Bitcoin and where things might be going for it. You know, for example, Jack Dorsey's company Square put in about $50 million into Bitcoin itself. And that is a really key thing for Bitcoin. And seeing that reflected into the rest of the market, into lots of other major companies that are out there, freeing up some of their cash and putting it into Bitcoin, we have to look at the multiplying effect here. So if companies across the whole world just put 1% of their cash reserve into Bitcoin, we'll be seeing new all-time high territories for Bitcoin itself and seeing it go exponentially higher than whatever we've seen in before as well. So I think that's a very key thing there as well for Bitcoin. So hopefully I've covered everything that I needed to cover in today's video about Bitcoin reaching that $13,800 region. Now, the only key thing that I have to mention again, as I said previously in the video, is if it were to break this $13,800 region and close above, that's the really key thing I want you to take home today in today's video, is that candle close. So monthly close on that candle on Bitcoin and also on the daily close as well. We just need to see that close above that $13,000 and $14,000 region itself. So interesting times ahead for Bitcoin, for the rest of the altcoins. And as again, you know, always make sure that you do your due diligence, do your own research, look into things, don't risk more than you're willing to lose as well. These are all key things. You know, we've been seeing people in the past risk a lot of their money and they lose it all. Don't do that at all. So that's the other side to it as well. So do let me know what you think down in the comments below about what I've been through today, about the new style of video as well, whether you like that or not. I'd like to know what you guys have to say about that and want to see more of that. You know, so if you like the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the Cryptopia channel to see more videos like this, to keep up to date in the crypto market and have that competitive edge in the crypto market for the upcoming weeks and also months. We've got so much more content planned, so stay tuned.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like, and share so we can find others like yourself.